CK and Aleah from Release Breathwork. I'm so excited to have you guys on here. I'm really excited to learn more about what you do and tap into how you've built this business together and how you're supporting people on their empowerment journey. So welcome to the show. And maybe can you guys start by just telling us a little bit about who you are and what you do?
Yeah, thank you so much for having us. We've been looking forward to this conversation. We started the business a few years ago. We are business partners and also partners in relationship. And we have a long distance relationship, actually. So we facilitate out of Waterloo and out of Durham region. And we came to breathwork pretty organically. We started really getting into meditation and yoga and breathwork probably 4 years ago.
Yeah, before the pandemic, I was going through a separation and just all of the things coming to a head. And it really sort of poked holes in all the foundations of what I believe to be true and everything just crumbling down. And obviously, a big, crossroads in my life, I chose to sort of look at those things. I was in the hospitality industry. A lot of my friends were going through the same things, in our mid to late phase. And they're saying, I'm having success with doing yoga, or I'm having success with doing this meditation practice. And I really stumbled upon these things almost like they were gifts from the universe saying like, here's this one and here's this one. And then I started with doing a breathwork practice, the Wim Hof app. And it really blew my whole universe and turned it upside down. And I really started to get my nervous system regulated, and it helped my respiratory system. And I really found a lot of success with that. Aleah and our relationship was just beginning. And I was here in the Durham region and just looking for a course to take. And I took a breathwork facilitator course, and it was conscious connected breathwork. So the first time I ever did the breathwork technique that we sort of offer was in facilitator training, and it was unbelievable. It actually changed my life. I didn't know that it could, something that you can do without drugs could be so incredible. And that's how I came to breathwork, and it really transformed my life. I knew that I needed to share this modality with people that are struggling, and that's how I came into this practice. But yeah, Aleah's was a little bit of a different story.
My healing journey started 8 years ago, actually, when I was diagnosed with the autoimmune disease, Guillain-Barré syndrome. And I was paralyzed in hospital, 30 weeks pregnant with my daughter, and really terrified for what my future looked like. And it really created an opportunity for me to go within and to access the body's innate ability to heal and the power of prayer. And all kinds of beautiful messages came to me in that time. I really leaned into that healing, and it really created a cascade of changes in my life, of moving to the country, of starting to really take ownership of my health, live differently. And yeah, it's been an amazing journey and very empowering. Like when you can lean into the hard thing, when you can embrace the struggle that life has given you, and to go within and to learn to heal. I learned to meditate. I learned, white light meditations and how to go within and really empower my body to take back its health. And it was very life-changing. My very first breathwork session brought me back to a place where I tapped into my body, and I realized I was hanging on to a lot of PTSD from what I went through. So my first session was very physically intense. I couldn't move for a little while. I was back in that paralysis state. But part of me knew this is how it's supposed to happen. My body needed to bring up the trauma so it could be released. And I knew I was safe. I knew it was just something I needed to feel to let go. And so my first breathwork session was very life-changing as well. I thought, holy geez, if I can go in and unlock trauma that's trapped in my body and the emotion and all of that pain that was still stuck in me that I had no idea. I thought I'd processed it years ago. You think I've gone through all the things, I've figured it out, but my body was still hanging on to so much. And that's why somatic practices are so powerful, in that we think we've processed grief or pain or heartbreak or whatever it is, but our bodies are hanging on to so much that we can't access until we go into a somatic practice like breath work. So this is why we're so passionate about what we do, because it's changed our lives so much. So we have that deep belief in what we're doing and how it can impact others.
Wow, you guys just shared so much great information. Like, it lit up a lot of thoughts and experiences that I've had as well, especially with, like recognizing the way that our bodies do store things. I've noticed that too. And I had a similar experience with my first breathwork session where it was like all of these things became activated within me. And I love what you said, CK, about how this is like the most profound kind of out of body experience, in body experience that you can have without doing drugs. You're really getting high on your own supply.
That's right.
Because it's like, I remember doing it, and you get to that point when you stay consistent with it where all of a sudden it just activates a whole new part of yourself, a part of your consciousness, a part of your awareness that wasn't activated before. And then I remember like going through my body and being able to really tap into those areas that felt uncomfortable and bring those things to the surface. So I also just love how you guys got into this because of your own pain and suffering and the trials you've had to go through, because I've shared this before on this podcast, and it's a big message of what I share with people about getting in touch with their purpose is I really do think that sometimes our biggest struggles are our greatest teachers.
That's right.
And they're kind of guiding us to do that. Like, I know my own debilitating anxiety and anxiety attacks guided me to do energy work and Reiki and all of that healing early on in my journey. And then my own struggles with marketing and running a business guided me to now do this work and support other entrepreneurs and that are trying to heal the world and make a difference. So I just think that that's a beautiful story, and I'm really grateful that you guys have shared it. Can you tell us a little bit more about some of the before and after transformations you've kind of seen, and maybe even more specifically on the results that people get from doing breath work?
Yeah, not just through breathwork. Like, breathwork seems to be a really great, almost starting point to nervous system regulation. So when we have lots of dysregulation and lots of emotions and energy stored in our body, we think that breathwork is a great way just to start bringing that stuff up and to release that stuff. It's almost like an iceberg, right? But there is so much underneath that we have forgotten or isn't stored in places, and our ego's trying to, cleverly hang on to. And it has an important job in this whole healing process. And really, after a few sessions of, we have a 4-week transformation program, which we can talk about. But after really about 3 to 5 sessions of, deeply regulating your nervous system, natural things appear almost every time, and that is inner child work and things that we haven't processed and looked at in a very long time. And once we sort of open the door to that, we navigate things a little differently. But that is where the real healing begins, is regulating your nervous system on a regular, having a self-care routine that really works and switching it up, and sort of going back into places that we've tried to forget, and those old wounds that we can go through again, go through the darkness and the pain rather than constantly turning away from it. That's why these practices are so important, because we're actually embodying feeling. We're feeling all of those things in a deep and profound way. And that's the secret to healing, we believe, along with lots of other things, but in a concise way, for sure.
Yeah. To answer your question about kind of the before and after is when we work with people with our 4-week program, some of them come to us in the beginning and they just say, I have no joy in life anymore. There's nothing keeping me going. If I were to die, okay. They've just lost that spark. And we love seeing, 4 weeks later when they say, I am so excited about life again. And it seems like such a small thing. It's not like flip their life upside down, but they have that joy again. They have that spark in their eyes, and it's a ripple effect in their life, in that people start saying like, oh, you, like, what are you doing? Or your energy's so different, or you look really great. And it's that authentic light that we all have that gets dimmed by life, by wounds that happen, and issues and stress and depression and anxiety, and that disconnection that we have from each other. And ourselves. And when you can start to reconnect with yourself and to find that light again and get rid of all the stuff that's weighing you down, all the stuff that's really keeping you from being who you are, all those wounds, all the limiting beliefs. And when you can get back to that beautiful light, you start shining differently. You start walking differently. You start interacting with people with more presence, because you're doing the work to regulate all that stuff that when you are talking to someone, you're really engaged, you're really present, and it's really noticeable. And we love the stories we've got, the testimonials from people saying like, you have changed my life these last 4 weeks. And it doesn't even have to be 4 weeks. Sometimes it's just a single session where people come and say to us, I had that conversation in this very spiritual breathwork session. I felt like I said what I needed to say to someone who's passed on the other side. I feel closure. Or someone who says, I've been struggling with infertility, and in that session, I have hope again that I'm going to conceive. And I felt like I met my unborn child. And like these things that you would never be able to like conceptualize unless you've been in an experience and had a really profound spiritual experience. These stories they keep us going, are incredibly impactful. They are that little glimpse of hope that people need to keep going. Like life doesn't have to just be depression and anxiety. We can move past that. We can reconnect again. And that's a big part of what we do as well is, going through the hard things and leaning into the hard stuff is so much harder when you don't have a community around you to support you, to remind you it's not always going to feel this way. Or we've been there. There isn't like, this is what it looks like on the other side of it. And we're going to sit with you and we're going to hold space with you while you're in the hard stuff. And so we love that, we're creating a community, we're reaching out into new communities so that people know that they're not on this journey alone. And then the hard part and embracing that pain doesn't feel so hard because, we're all doing it.
I love that, especially what you just said about being in your body and having that safe space, because it really, like with me, I've struggled with addiction, alcoholism. I've been sober now for a few years, but I think I'll always have those addictive tendencies in my brain. And I've done a lot of psychological work on that and recognize that the problem isn't with the substance or addiction. The problem is with being in my body and using the substance as a means to escape. Alcohol was a great escape for me for many years. And I really do think that, like having that support, like what you said about you being that kind of safe space to hold the space for someone while they're in those uncomfortable feelings. I know with me, like breath work, you're forced to be in your body. You're forced to just feel it all, like what you said, CK, like feel it all. And that can be so uncomfortable, but also, like what you just said, Aleah, is so empowering. And it is a really valuable tool and opportunity to force yourself to just stay through those uncomfortable moments and build that resilience. Because I find, especially as entrepreneurs and just purpose-driven humans in general, we really do have some hard moments that we have to go through, some uncomfortable times. And I think that when we can find tools and modalities to support us through that and build that type of resiliency needed to overcome it, be in our bodies and deal with these things head on instead of escaping and running from them, then I think we can be so much more successful in our lives and also in our business. So maybe we could talk a little bit about how breath work can support us in overcoming those obstacles. Would you guys be able to share some breath work techniques that maybe I can do while I'm sitting at my desk and trying to handle a stressful situation or get clear on something that I need to do?
I think there is now so many great resources out there that you can use if you have 30 seconds or if you have an hour. And, there's a physiological sigh that you can do where you sort of inhale through your nose deeply. And once you're 80% in, take another deep breath and just sigh. Do that about 5 times. So it goes like this. And if you would like to do it, you can.
Yeah, let's do it. Let's do it.
This is called the physiological sigh. So it just resets you very quickly. And then if you're having, if you're like dropping the kids off and you're late for an appointment and you're just like overwhelmed. So all you do is you can do it in your car. So you go and try and get all the air in. But after 3 to 5 of those, that would take 10 seconds or 15 seconds, and then you're back to baseline. Any other?
Yeah, so it's not just breath work that we do anymore, really. I mean, it's breath work, but it's a lot of other somatic things. And we like starting our classes with a humming exercise. And the humming activates your vagus nerve. It strengthens that ability for your body to switch between rest and digest, which is the parasympathetic, and the sympathetic, which is the fight or flight. And the stronger your vagus nerve is, the stronger your body is, the more able it is to switch between that really easily. So a humming exercise is a really good way to strengthen that and to get present. You can't have a lot of racing thoughts when you're just focusing on humming. So closing your eyes down and really taking deep breaths and humming and really getting all of the air and humming for as long as you can. And you'll find when you're doing that, you end up having more lung capacity. You end up being able to control your exhale longer with that sound. So that's something we really promote a lot in our classes as well.
Can we try that right now to just get listeners to practice listening in their car or wherever they are? Can we do that together right now?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So if you want to put one hand on your heart is what I like to do, and one on your belly. And really, I close my eyes down when I do it as well. And it's just like this.
And really what you're trying to do is just activate your vocal cords and vibrate them. And it really gets your throat chakra moving and your vagus nerve strengthening and building up resilience. And that is essentially like strengthening your parasympathetic nervous system. So when you are in a heightened state of anxiety, you just have a little bit more capacity and resilience for those times. So if you investigate the vagus nerve, it is absolutely incredible. And we do it at the beginning of every breathwork session. We do humming.
Mm-hmm.
I like that. I feel like it's also just such a nice way to get on the same wavelength as people and to all synchronize the energy. So yeah, I think that's beautiful. Great. Yeah.
We also encourage people to, because in our breathwork classes, there's the scream and there's that release of energy. We encourage people, if you're having one of those days, and I usually do it in my car because I'm not going to scare the neighbors or the children, but to really find a place that's safe and just scream and release that energy that's inside of you. Because when you're feeling anxious and when you have a lot of stress, that's energy in your body that has no place to go. So finding a safe place where you can scream it out and do a little scream therapy, it's really amazing. It's really game changing when you're in that feeling. It changes it very quickly when you can release that energy through your scream, through your voice.
Mm-hmm.
I agree. I scream into pillows all the time. I have 2 toddlers. Things get intense in this house sometimes. And yeah, I agree. It does feel good to scream. Just like it feels good to cry.
Yeah.
And that breath work, that technique that you were just showing us with the ins and the out, that actually totally reminds me of that feeling or the response that our body makes when we're crying.
Yes.
I see it with my toddlers, and I know when I'm having a good cry, you kind of do that like that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
They see it with kids all the time when they're going,
yeah. So they're just regulating their nervous system.
And in addition to that, we also see if you look at, you have toddlers, they're often doing a lot of these things innately, like humming, or they're singing, and it's doing their activating their vagus nerve. they're regulating themselves. If you can just leave them alone and not tell them to be quiet, which we often do.
Yeah. Yeah.
Stop humming at the table.
Yeah.
They innately know what to do, like going outside and grounding, like being in dirt, humming, singing, like the way that they release emotion. It's all inside of us. We just, are either shamed or we're told like not to do these things.
Yeah, I mean, as kids, we're forced to sit at a desk all day at school for many years, and then we go to the office and we do the same thing, and we're not allowed to have feelings and emotions, and we got to keep it together. So, yeah, I feel that. I feel that. Now, can you tell us a little bit about kind of how you guys operate your business, and what was the transition like for you guys to decide, okay, we want to put these offers out in the world and we want to do this as work? How did you guys kind of transition into doing that, and what supported you through that?
Well, without Aleah, I'm not a
good team.
I'm not a technical person, but I do have like these grandiose ideas, and I can see her mind spinning sometimes of like, oh great, how do we practically pull this off? But I think I'll sort of kick it over to you if you need
I think CK had been searching for a while for that thing. When you're searching, like, what is it I'm meant to do here? And trying lots of different things until you get to that place. And when he did his first breathwork session, he came home to me and said, I am meant to do this. This changed me so profoundly. I'm meant to do it. And he was like, and I'm taking you with me. So we're doing this together.
You're in.
Yeah. And really, our offering has changed so much too. And I think it's important to learn how to evolve and, shift your offering to find out what's needed in your world, in your community, and what you're going through personally. Because if you're going through big personal things, you can bet that there's that same chain, like the same thread that's happening in other people around you as well. It's that energetic, the rule that, if it's happening to you, it's happening to others. And to really lean into that. So whenever we're stuck, we lean into breath work like it is like it's our job. We practice what we preach. And when we go through hard times, it's like, how can we figure this out together? We lean into breath work, and we're growing really exponentially, really. So the personal growth we're going through translates into our business. It's like now we want to offer this. Now we've done deeper work. We can take people deeper. How can we take them there?
A lot of times too, when we sort of face problems with business, it all sort of, or like what to do next, or we're stuck, it all translates back into like, how are we doing personally and spiritually and emotionally? So when we come back together and have big experiences and really dig deep into ourselves emotionally, and we're always thankful to each other that we have one another to sort of do this work together, because we have checks and balances and accountability and all of those things. But it really is a beautiful sort of reflection on what is going on in our lives, because there is an answer out there of all of the issues that we face in our business if we just come back to the intuition of what is inside of us. If we go back deep inside of ourselves and ask questions without our ego being involved, then the answer is always there.
Yeah.
And
I like that.
and we ask God or the universe, whatever you want to call it, when we're stuck, we're not afraid to get down and ask for some help and give us some guidance.
There's been some times of like, Jesus, just give us a hand here.
Yeah. Oh, I've been there. I feel that. Yeah. But it's true, because I do agree with you. If you just ask, you do get those answers. Because I know I've had my rock bottom moments where I'm screaming into a pillow, wanting to give up on everything and lacking that meaning of life and that spark that you were talking about, Aleah. And I have just asked it out loud, like, what am I supposed to be doing? What's going on? And I find, the quieter we get and the more we go in, the louder those answers become. Do you have any maybe strategies that you could share too, or just maybe advice on what's helped you grow your business the best for people who are just kind of starting out?
I'll let you go first. Go ahead.
It seems, well, as far as like the, us doing personal work that translates to business and people can have the information to use in their everyday life, but really the practice of gratitude, somatic experiences, with movement, a breathwork practice, and it always comes back to asking God or the universe for answers and surrendering into what is next for us. It really translates to the answers usually hard work and surrender.
Yeah, I think the thing that we've learned is to really figure out what your authentic message is and do what's authentic to you. Don't try and do what the next person is doing or to be in competition with that. Really lean into like our unique offering in breathwork really is the combination of masculine and feminine energies. And that
the secret sauce.
The secret sauce.
And it's the masculine, that pushing and that like, how would you say what you do? It is more like the empowerment, like the encouraging of like, go harder, you can do this. And then the feminine being that nurturing place of like, I've got you, I'm going to hold you here. I'm going to help you with these emotions. And that is our unique offerings. To answer your question, I would say to really figure out what it is as an entrepreneur, what your unique message is. Don't try and do what's been done already out there. And the more you turn into yourself and you do that work and you access that light and that love that you have within you, that message becomes really clear. And I think that's what we've learned through breathwork as well, is that self-love piece and knowing you're worthy and knowing that the gift that you have, it's really needed in the world, and to embrace that. And there's lots of things you can learn from social media and like navigating that area is not either one of our expertise. And there's always going to be people you can reach out to and get help with those things, but stay true to your authentic message, I say, or your gift in business or whatever you're doing.
And on a personal level, when I'm going through like a difficult time or it's been a difficult week or day or month, is we only have one life. And we often spend so much time ruminating on what could have been or, our issues that we're facing. And we really should take some time and understand like how beautiful life is and how wonderful we are. We're all miracles in life, and we should treat more times every day that living life as a miracle.
I like that. You guys, you just keep saying so many things that spark things in my mind and my experience too. And I totally agree with all that, because that's been my experience as well. Like, I've really learned that we attract what we are, not what we want. And whatever energy we put out there, we get in return. And I really do think that the ultimate investment you can make in your business is in yourself and your own self-expansion and self-development journey. Mm-hmm. And I've noticed the same thing too, like Aleah, what you're saying about being authentic. Like, I have put offers out there in the past. I've pivoted so many times in my entrepreneurial journey, but I've put offers out there in the past with just more of that, like wanting to make money or wanting to be like somebody else and fit in that role of what I think I should be. And every time it's just nobody's interested. Nobody bites what you put out there. But those moments where I'm just real and vulnerable and sharing my truth and really in my power and claiming that, that's when people all of a sudden they just come. Mm-hmm. Thank you, guys. Can you share how people can work with you and maybe tell us a little bit more about that 4-week journey, just kind of what people can expect and how they can get in touch with you guys?
Yeah, so we do have regular classes both in Waterloo and in Durham region. But the 4-week transformation, we love working with those clients. It's an intensive, as many breathwork sessions as you can possibly do within the month. We support you with Zoom calls and coaching and the integration piece, which is really important. And I'm glad that you asked this question, because integrating the things that you feel and experience in breathwork, it's great to have a big experience and then go back to life and not know what to do with it and how to really process those experiences. So we love helping people kind of pull that apart and really figure out how to integrate it into life. And that integration piece is really pivotal in the 4-week program. And yeah, so the program, it's all on our website, which is releasebreathwork.com. We have training, we have 4-week programs, we have the classes, we do big workshops as well, where I've incorporated some plant medicine, and we can do corporate events. If you have a bunch of friends that you want to get together and have a private session, we travel all over and we do sessions in people's homes or studios. We are ready to meet people wherever they are and help work with, whoever needs us. We do one-on-one sessions as well. So energy work sessions where we combine energy, Reiki, breath work, which are really powerful, really amazing sessions as well. And we do a lot of couples work because we work together as a couple. We're great. Cool. When couples are struggling, like we have struggled in our own relationship, to lean into breath work and figure out how that can really help you show up for one another and address the problems and release the emotions that you're hanging on to. Individual, couples, groups, corporate, we are doing it all.
The 4-week transformation program, like you said, of just investing in yourself, we have seen such incredible transformation with people. It is life-changing, and we are blown away every time when we see somebody from start to finish transform their lives. And when together we're faced with really difficult things, if it is beyond what we can sort of support them through, we work really closely with therapists and counselors that specialize in inner child work and internal family systems, so we can sort of toggle them back and forth, and they're not just like left blowing in the wind. We really want them to, leave us with, we'll always be a family and work together, but leave with practical tools of dealing with the things that are keeping us stuck and stagnant and we're not able to release and let go of. That is the magic of transformation, is releasing things so we have more room and capacity to let in love and light, which is the answer to life.
I love it. I love it so much. And you guys, I reached out to you and asked you to come join us at the Empoweredpreneur Summit. So you guys are going to be facilitating a workshop at that event as well. It's happening in Bowmanville at the end of January. I'm so excited to have you guys there because I really do think that you're going to bring some great energy to that day. It's going to be a powerful day. And I'm grateful for you guys for sharing your story and for coming on here. And I'm going to be at next week, you'll see me. I'm going to be there. So thank you guys. And yeah, if anyone hasn't already followed you on Instagram, I recommend that. You guys share great content. That's at, I think, is it underscore or
it's
you guys
at release _ breathwork _
Okay, at release _ breathwork _ Yeah, that's awesome. You guys are great. And I love that you are being so authentic and that you've shared your stories and your truth with us, because it really is making a difference in this world. So thank you.
Thank you to you as well, and for all you do for our community. And we're really grateful to have met you, and we continue to hope to work with you in the future.
I love it.